Hello there everybody, Bilbo10,000 here, bringing you another Mag Mammal 2 video, and today it is episode 46, and it is time for Tier 10. Gyro Man. Hey, just so you know, you're going to enter Tier 9 if you continue to the left. If you just came from Light's Lab and don't want spoilers, Tiers 1 through 8 are to the right. If you want to access the Tier 10 levels, press up in front of this rainbow. Now, as I said with the last episode, I have played 4 of the levels here in Tier 10 because I had audio issues when recording, so I'm playing through levels I've already done, but that just means that I can showcase them fairly easily. So welcome to Tier 10, look at this beautiful place. All these stars here, and our first level. 10th place, Mr. Curum's Boil Man, score 40.8, 44, 42, 38, 39, 41, and for those of you that don't know, Mr. Curum was actually a judge in the original Mag Mammal, so it's really good to see one of his stages making it this high up. 1 energy element, 5 noble nickels, let's go. And the first thing that we need to do is go left, you know? Gotta see if there's anything to the left. Usually we get a noble nickel, right? Not this time. Normally being so revolutionary in Mag Mammal 2 by going left at the start of a level gives you a free noble nickel or E-tank. Unfortunately, I can't offer that as they're actually all hidden across the level with challenges guarding them. However, if you want, you can fight a free bonus boss I decided to include in this level for fun. Oh, already read that. You'll get some goodies for beating it, I suppose, but you can almost certainly completely ignore it and just judge the rather level than my silly boss behind this door. I am not responsible for any meme injury caused by the boss intro. This may be the only time where I'm gonna splice footage in from the failed recording session, just so you can see my true reaction to this boss. So, he dabs! He dabs! I am curious. Emma— No! 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 No, I'm upset. I'm upset. Dabbing? Oh, for fucking Mr. Curum! No! I'm definitely gonna have to splice in the old audio from the failed intro. From the failed recording, actually. But it's a cool boss, though. It's like a really interesting sort of Wily capsule. And he's done. I didn't actually get to check this last time I did this, though. Can we talk to him? No. Alright, down we go. And we get M-tank, a life, some E-tanks. Nice. Like, I'ma take it. I'ma take it. Perfect. We get some screws, get some bolts. And yeah, it's pretty nice, you know, got some good stuff. That was pure skill. Pure skill against those Picatos. Oh no. And then we get some of these guys. So basically, this whole level's theme is Boil Man in terms of, you know, boiling water. So you're gonna get a lot of fire enemies in water-based challenges, and it's pretty interesting. So here's our first of the 5 noble nickels. Not the most well hidden, but you know, provides an interesting challenge given, you know, we have to actually deal with Picatos, and nobody wants to deal with Picatos. And they're really stupid opening animation times. I don't know why people don't just edit these enemies so that they have a longer time being open. I don't know why they didn't edit that into the engine, but I guess it's because it's like, oh, they have to be realistic to the games. But I feel like this is like the sort of change that, you know, you could get away with. Gotcha. So here, you want to actually go down because there are bricks down here that kind of imply, yeah, you can go down here. And then you just head up here, grab the noble nickel, and wait for a bubble. It's a pretty easy sort of noble nickel to get. To be honest, actually, now that I think about it, most of the noble nickels in this level are fairly simple to get to, but I think that's what noble nickels are there for. They're there to provide a secondary challenge. It doesn't necessarily have to be difficult, but, you know, just has to exist and do its job. And I like that most of the noble nickels in these levels are able to do that. So now we get to one of the main gimmicks of the area. Not only is it the falling crabs, but we also have a full-on bubble section. And by full-on, I really do mean full-on. Like, there's a lot. No! I had a feeling I'd missed that. That's a little bit of an interesting one. But luckily, you do get spawned right back here, so it's not like it's really tragic if you die. You can pretty much stay alive for as long as you need. There we go. Just had to jump a little bit early. And then we're across. No bricks down there, so clearly this is going to kill us if we hit it. And up we go. And we meet a new enemy type. Little flamethrower shrimp. They're adorable, and they are also a custom asset, so shout out to Mr. Curum for trying to use some custom assets in his level. They really are quite cool, and they work really well with the whole theme, really. Although the picados still don't work at all, and I don't know why the picados even exist. Especially in this sort of situation, they're awful. Well, I'm just gonna rush through. I wanna go to the right here. So, get your super arrow out, fire it over, jump up, and we have some more shrimp. Hello. Oh, and he's gone off to space, and he's not coming back. Poor thing. He went to be with his people. There we go, that's noble nickel number 3. And down we go. More shrimp. And more of these guys, and more shrimp. Perfect. God, those things are annoying sometimes. But once we get down here, we've got a nice little kind of spiked ceiling segment, because, you know, every water level has to have a spiked ceiling segment. And we get these guys. Those are squids, and they actually fire these fireballs that kind of go off screen and then come back at you. But, you know, they're quite a unique little enemy. I quite like them. Although I feel like out of the 2 new custom enemies, that being the shrimps and those squid enemies, I think the shrimps are a lot better functionality-wise. I feel like the squids are just a little bit awkward to fight. Head down here for another noble nickel. With 2 squids, of course. And we're out. Gonna go dual satellite quickly here, just to keep myself alive. And then just use the Hornet Chaser to keep myself alive again. And then head across here. This bit's a little bit simple, but if you do get hit by those falling crabs, they can surprise you. This bit's a bit off because you've got a really awkward jump here that I'm not comfortable doing most of the time. But we managed to pull it off fairly well, so I'm pretty grateful for that. However, we are almost dead, and that's a slight problem. Because, you know, being almost dead in a stage like this, never a good thing. And we have another one of these bubble segments. But, as long as we're careful, we should make it without a hitch. There we go. And we're in the boss room. But before we do that, this is something I almost missed my first playthrough. We do need to actually go up here, because there's a bubble. And the bubble takes us to the final noble nickel of the stage. And I'm actually going to kill myself just so I can get myself some full health, and then we're going to take on Boil Man. So, let's do it. Because he's here, we're ready. Boil Man is a really cool fight, by the way. I really like this fight. I mean, look at his design. He looks adorable. And that animation is so good as well. I mean, really. However, I would say that those flames, especially, are exceptionally difficult to avoid. This is when you really want to start trying to get some hits on him. Because this is when he's at its weakest, because he's just kind of doing his own thing. Ah, no. There we go, and with that, Boil Man is done. He's one of those enemies that I would rather tank the damage than try and avoid, just because he's a little bit overpowered. But, you know, he's a really fun fight, and that is a really good stage. Honest to God, such a brilliant stage, and it just sets a good precedent for Tier 10. So, let's see what the judges had to say about Boil Man. Snow and Pyro, 44 out of 50. Piccato 24s are usually very annoying to deal with, and it's also the case here. While most of them are well placed, the nature of the enemy means you're just going to be firing like an idiot, hoping that your shots will line up with their like 2-frame period, that they're vulnerable. And when you have stuff like Fire Boys constantly firing at you while you're trying to do this, it just becomes not fun. That being said though, the rest of the level is really good. I really love the usage of the Wave Man bubbles and the sea mines in general, and the sea mines especially are used in very clever ways with a variety of enemies. The custom enemies are pretty interesting, and the crab guy is adorable, and they're used in tandem with the default engine assets very well. The noble nickels are a challenge to find, and I like all of them except for the first one, because Piccato 24s. The fight with Boil Man himself is pretty good, though I'm really not sure how to dodge the attack with the triple flame pillars, and Boil Man triple jumping seems like the safe spots. Boil Man just blows steam, which apparently hits you in... what? The fight with the air capsule is pretty great too, and it's a neat take on the capsule type boss. Also, I had to go to the hospital because I was mauled by the memes. Overall, really great level that just gets brought down a bit by the Piccato 24s. Droopy Hornet, 42 out of 50. Pretty nice level. I really liked the custom fire enemies you made, especially the squids. I didn't like the Wave Man bubbles, particularly in the last room before the boss. That section was very difficult compared to the rest of the level, which was pretty easy going. I was also disappointed in the lack of Wave Man pipes. They would have fit this stage well. Boil Man himself had a really cool design, but his attacks were really hard to dodge. Edit, the second time I played this, I went left at the beginning. Hey Mr. Curum, nice meme you got there. Angel, 38 out of 50. This one took me a while to grasp. It's a good stage with a lot of attention to detail and 2 cool boss fights. However, the only part where players will ever die is the final stretch to the boss. Ha! This is basically no challenge provided in this level. Every enemy can be tackled one at a time, with only Fire Boys and the squids being used to complement other enemies on screen occasionally. I found playing through this stage to be rather boring simply because basically nothing is ever threatening or important enough to stop the player from advancing. I feel like a mid-boss or two would have helped the stage greatly in shaking things up. I had fun with the bosses, though they are not perfect. Air Capsule 2 suffers from I can tank hits until he's dead syndrome, and Boil Man himself also suffers from that. I've had a lot of trouble with predicting. Dodging his landing shockwave is difficult to do, even if the player slides relatively early, and even then he can use his blast to chase down the player before landing. Gariri, 39 out of 50. Not that much stood out in this level for me, but I had quite a bit of fun playing it still. The types of enemies and obstacles used can be annoying at times, but the level was mostly well done. The new bosses and enemies are also pretty awesome, and the stage looks very good overall. Any more? It's top 10. A-Spark, 41 out of 50. Solid stage here, folks. This guy knows what he's doing. You took one gimmick and squeezed it for all it's worth. That is very commendable. Ultimately, this has a great look. The music is perfect, and the selection of enemies is right for their situation. It's not without faults. One of the many issues is things associated with Boil. This really just feels like a fairly generic water level with a few fire-themed enemies thrown in, and they're almost out of place. As good as the gimmick used is, it probably could have done with furthering the theme and using another one. The boss is pretty good with his variety and selection of attack patterns. I do find he's not on the very threatening side. I never felt in danger during the fight. I died to him once due to having 2 hit points left. Any other time, he dies without me even so much as paying attention. I think the player needs to feel the full front of a boss's attacks, lest they actually do what I ended up doing on repeat playthroughs, not bothering to dodge and just shooting the bugger to death. I also feel the Noble Nickels are tacked on at times, with their challenges ranging from far easier than what the main path throws at you. It's a bit backward. These are minor problems in the grand scheme of things, the level is just straight up solid, and I think Capcom will be happy to see such a level and Robot Master in a Mega Man 11 wink wink nudge nudge. Oh, and I found this hidden secret boss, I laughed, he was good. Yeah, it was a really fun stage. I really enjoyed Boilman as a concept and as a stage. It is just really fun. And I had to play it on repeat because with the failed recording. Playing it on repeat, it's still a good stage. I love it. It's so much fun to kind of play through. It's not boring to me. I really enjoy it. I like the fact that the Noble Nickels aren't too difficult because, you know, it just means that you can kind of have fun collecting all the other collectibles. I like that you can collect every single Noble Nickel in one run. I like the fact that Airman's fight was optional and you didn't have to do it if you didn't want to. Although I do think the screen transition from Airman, from the corridor that goes to Airman to the start screen, when you go from the start screen to that corridor, looks a bit weird because the tile set changes a bit. It kind of looks a bit janky. And I would say that the squid enemies, the new squid enemies, I feel like it wasn't always clear when they were damageable. I was never really 100% sure on when I could hurt them, and they just felt a bit janky to me compared to the shrimp. But the shrimp were brilliant. Loved the shrimp. Loved them all. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this episode, guys. For Tier 10, we're going to be doing each episode as its own individual episode. So, next episode, we'll be doing episode 9. But before we end off, I do want to just point out, by the way, that we did actually get another item called the Map Reader, I believe it's called, or the Map Screen. And this was from Nightman for, I think, 120 nickels. And I filmed this during one of the failed recording sessions, but basically what it does is you can enter a stage, and if you press the 2 weapon buttons, the switch weapon buttons, you get a map. And I might actually quickly just show that off, mainly because I want to get a screenshot of Airman dabbing, and I may as well show it off now anyway. Because I want to get a thumbnail screenshot, so let me just get Airman dabbing. Like, look at this transition, that is just like so weirdly different there. So let me just quickly get my Airman dab screenshot. There we go, perfect. So, yep, there you go. You get this crazy map, and it's really hard to tell where Mega Man is because he's like a little dot, but it's pretty cool. And you can do this for any and all stages. Actually, before we go, I'm curious. There's one stage I would really like to use this on, and I'm genuinely curious as to how it would look. I want to use it on Yggdrasil, because I want to see what Yggdrasil looks like as a stage from its layout. I'm just curious, you know? It's one of those things. Alright, yep, skip Gariri. Let's see, what do you look like when you've got the stage direct? Holy shit, that is convoluted. Oh my god. Okay. Well, with that, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and in the next episode, we'll be taking on the 9th place level in MagMammal 2. We're getting so close to the end of the user-submitted levels. We're going to be getting soon to the Wily stages. I'm excited. So, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.